all those barriers didn't seem to be enough for a lot of Republican-led states, of course, when it comes to gender-affirming care, and specifically with minors. Alabama's made it a felony recently to provide any gender-affirming care. You can get 10 years in prison for doing so. I believe, what are the other states that have followed suit?
Yes. So Alabama is the big one. Arkansas was the first one. Arkansas actually did it last year. Although the Arkansas ban was not a felony provision, it still bans gender affirming care. It removes the doctor's licenses. The other states are Texas, because Texas is a weird one because there's no law on the books that says that you can't provide gender affirming care in Texas. However, just in February, Attorney General Paxton wrote a letter to Greg Abbott saying that under the Texas child abuse guidelines, gender affirming care is child abuse. The child abuse guidelines say nothing about gender affirming care, but they're basically interpreting them as they see fit to now crack down on the parents of transgender youth in Texas and to attempt to literally take their kids away. So Texas is the other one, other than Arkansas.
It's amazing to me that these are some of the same states that are basically completely doing away with abortion in every single case, including incest. You're like, oh, cool. That's not necessarily child abuse, but supporting your trans kid is. Got it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because the linkage between abortion rights and transgender rights is extremely strong, even to the point that the same organizations that are pushing for abortion rollbacks are the same organizations that are pushing for trans rights rollbacks, and they're using the same arguments. So just in Ohio, for instance, last week, there was a lawyer from the Alliance Defending Freedom, which is one of the largest organizations that is currently trying to ban transgender rights in the United States, as well as trying to ban abortion care in the United States. And he literally said that you can pass this law because of fetal or ultrasound bills and use the same defense logic behind it. Like he had like some sort of legal rationale and said, they're just the same. You can pass them the same. And I'm like, okay, so you're just basically admitting that the linkage is there,
Well, let's stay on that for just a second. Can I ask you, I think sort of callously, a lot of people are like, well, why would the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community, the trans community, why would they care about, Roe v. Wade being overturned? Obviously, you've heard the Bill Maher dum-dum clip going around, but actually the links between the attacks on Roe and the attacks on abortion rights, and the attacks on trans people are really linked. If and when Roe v. Wade is overturned, how do you see that impacting also trans people, in addition to the fact that trans people can get pregnant, number one, but also just what does that mean for bodily autonomy, for privacy, all those kinds of questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's beyond the basic fact that yes, transgender people do get pregnant, and they are also much more likely to suffer from things like poverty and inability to escape a state, and inability to just move out. So just by virtue of that, the LGBT population and trans people in particular are disproportionately impacted by laws that are focused on abortion rights and reproductive health, and also contraception, being another major deal for a lot of transgender people. But beyond that, some of the very like foundations that Roe v. Wade is built off of kind of spiderwebs out into all kinds of rights that we have, rights to marry who we see fit, rights to engage in whatever sexual activity that we see fit with a consenting adult. And whenever they start to chip away at fundamental rights, it seems very easy for them to simply move on to other associated rights that are based on some of the same rationale. I can tell you, for instance, once Roe v. Wade gets repealed, there are states that are currently considering passing laws that make it illegal to leave the state to seek an abortion. And this is becoming a big deal. There are other states that are reacting to this. Yes. The same people that are using those arguments are also now proposing laws to make it illegal to take a transgender kid out of the state to seek gender affirming care. And so it's all interconnected, and it's all part of a patriarchal system to define us by our reproductive capability and to use that to establish a gender hierarchy. And that's how it works.
It's so simple. That's all they want. The gender hierarchy. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry. I'm just
I
like,
know it's real.
it's so, I know, and you're just like, wow. It's gotta. I'm just like, it's gotta suck to be just like a cis, het, rich, white, old dude. I mean, it's great, but it's like, why? What the fuck are you clinging to, bro? I get so mad.
That they have to force this so strongly shows how weak it really is, you know?
Yes, that's exactly right. That is exactly it, Aaron. I think that is the crux that when I get down about this kind of stuff, I come back to the fact that, oh no, this is the last gasp of them, these fucks trying to hold on and sort of institute hierarchies when we're imploding them. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.